Hello friends, this is Ravi sir, and I'm going to start the second chapter for the 7th standard, The Gift of Chappals. The story is based on cousin brothers. So before we going to read, we have to see the introduction of this chapter. Mridu is a young girl growing up in Madras. Madras, it is now called Chennai, with Tapi. So Mridu is living in Madras with Tapi. Tapi word is used for grandmother, her grandmother, and Tata. Tata, her grandfather. So two words are there. They are from different language we call. So Madras, it is Tapi for grandmother. I repeat, Tapi for grandmother and Tata for grandfather. So one afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house. So Tapi means grandmother took Mridu to her aunt. So along with Tapi means grandmother and Mridu both went to Mridu's aunt, that is Rukumani. She used to live in Madras. So Rukmani's house to meet her cousin. So there were cousins. Three cousins were there: Lali, Ravi, and Meena. I repeat, Mridu is one character. She's living in Madras. Now it is called Chennai. With whom did she live? Question can be asked. So two persons are there: Tapi and Tata. Tapi is used for grandmother and Tata is used for grandfather. Once Tapi took Mridu to her aunt's house. And what is the name of her aunt? Rukumani's house. And there she met her cousins Lali, Ravi, and Meena. Three cousins are there. So they are awaiting for welcoming Mridu, and they have surprise. What surprise is there, and how did they enjoy? What moral has been given at the last, we have to see. So let's have a look to our lesson. A gift of chappals. Many more gifts you have seen, students. But can anyone give gift as a chappal? No. So why that lesson in name is given? So let's have a look. Shall we start? Okay. A smiling Rukmani's thrift opened the door. Ravi and Meena rushed out, and Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. See, as we know that one, if someone whom did you like most, if they are entering, if they are coming to your house, definitely will enjoy, and we are waiting, eagerly waiting for them. So same thing had happened. A smiling Rukmani, I told you, aunt. Obviously, she's daughter of Tapi. So that aunt who Rukumani opened the door. She already opened the door. She had kept it open. Why? That she knows that her mother, means Mridu's grandmother, is going to come. She kept the door open. Ravi and Meena rushed out. As she opened the door, the cousin brothers, Ravi and Meena. Question can be asked: who rushed out to welcome Mridu? So Ravi and Meena rushed out, and Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. He start to pulling Mridu into the house. Wait, let me take off my slippers, protested Mridu. So she was telling that one, wait, let me take out my slippers. She protested. Protested means neglected. Protested. She's avoiding. She's telling that one, stop. Here protested, stop, neglect. Mridu was telling Ravi that I wait. Don't pull me out, pull me in. Let me take out my slippers. She set them out. She for Mridu, who came over there. She set them out neatly near a pair of large black ones. Guys, this line is very important, and on the lesson is completely depend on this line, that large black one. So she kept her slippers just beside, neatly near the pair of large black ones. So another slippers were there, they were black ones, and she kept it there. Those were gray actually with the dust. They were black, but just because of dust they were looking gray. You could see the clear mark of every toe on the front of each slipper. You know that one, when it get it get dusty, that time it looks somewhat gray. Really, exactly, it is in black color. They were the black ones. The pair is black one, but because of dust, it is looking like that each and every toe mark was there. Each and every finger. The toe means what? The fingers of the legs. So each and every finger of the legs can be seen on that slipper. The marks of for the two big toes were long and scrawny. Two big toes, big toes, that thumb we call of legs. So that two big toes were long and scrawny. Scrawny means thin, just opposite of thick. Any doubt in that passage? Sure. Next. Mridu didn't have much time to wonder about whose slippers they were, because earlier we have seen Ravi wanted to drag her in the house. Somehow she told him that let me take out my slippers, and now Mridu didn't have that much time to wonder whose that toes were there, because Ravi dragged her to the backyard, and suddenly Ravi take her to the backyard, pulled her to the backyard behind a thick bitterberry bush. Yes, in the backyard there was a bitterberry bush. There inside, a torn football lined with sacking and filled with sand. There was a torn football. Torn means it was cut, we called. It was torn means fata hua, we called. Torn football was there and lined with the sacking and filled with sand. Lined with sacking. Sacking lines were there and it was filled with sand. Half football, it was torn. In that one, they kept some sand. Lay a very small kitten on that ball where sand was kept, sitting a small kitten lapping up milk. Lapping, the testing the milk. That cat was testing the milk. It was lapping the milk from a coconut half shell. See, everything is half here. Half ton football is there, coconut shelf is there. It was also half the cat. Surprisingly, what happened? We found him outside the gate this morning. They were telling that one, the cat they find today only in the morning outside the gate. He was mewing and mewing. Poor thing. It was mewing. Cry of cat. It was mewing and mewing. Poor little thing said, Meena. See, cousins were discussing now in the backyard. What was there in the backyard? There was a bitter berry bush. Under that bitter berry bush, they kept a torn football. They put some sand in it, and it was just like a bed for the cat. There was a half shell of coconut in which they are feeding to that cat, which they caught early in the morning. So said Meena, it's a secret. We know that one, guys. Secrets are secrets, and if they tell that one that they have a cat or they have a pet in their house, definitely their elder ones will deny it, or they will scold them that don't keep that one. So Amma says Pati will leave for our Padu Mama's house if she knows we have a cat. Pati, Tapi and Pati, both are same words. So it is a secret. Maternal and paternal, that Pati and Tapi. Okay. So it's a secret. And Amma says Pati will leave for our Padu Mama's house. अगर पाती को पता चला कि is there any pet as a cat, definitely she would leave the house. That Padu Mama's house. People are always telling us to be kind to animals. Here, contradictory ideas is given. See, people mostly used to tell while we are speaking, yes, we should be very kind to the animals. But when we are trying, or when we are in reality to be very kind, they scream, "Oh, don't bring that dirty creature here." Practically somewhat it is different, and in reality it's different. In reality and practical, both were the different things, said Ravi. How that contradictory ideas? Just only to say, they used to say, and when we are doing it in practical, they stop, they regret us. Do you know how hard it is just to get a little milk from the kitchen? Ravi is telling that one. Huh? It's a tough job. We know that one. Earlier, they have a secret. They hide that kitten into their house somehow. And feeding milk is a tough job. Ravi only knows that one. That bringing milk from the kitchen is hard job for him now. Pati saw me with a glass in my hand just now. Abhi jab main a glass of milk I was bringing to the cat now. Pati saw me. I told her I'm very hungry. Huh. I have to tell something to her. I want to drink it. That's why I told her I'm very hungry. Pati, I'm feeling very hungry and I want that milk to drink it. But the way she looked at me, no, it was very difficult. The way she looked at me, I had to drink most of it to throw her off the scent. Yes. The way she is looking, she was doubtful why I'm carrying that milk. So I have to drink most of the milk to throw her off this scent and mostly throw her off. I can't stop there and I have to send her. That's why I have to drink most of the milk, more than half of that scent she is calling scent. Okay, percent. Then she wanted the tumbler back. You know that one. She thought that when I have sent complete 100% I have drunk, so she wanted the tumbler back from me. Pati, I will wash it myself. Now, somewhat he has to keep for that kitten, otherwise it will be a big problem. So Pati was asking, I will wash. Let me give that tumbler back. Tumbler, you know, that small pot. Pati, I will wash it myself. Why should I put you in trouble? I told her. See, Ravi. Ravi was telling me, Pati, don't worry. I will wash it myself. I don't want to put you in trouble. मुझे आपको कुछ trouble नहीं देना है. I will wash it. Don't worry. I told her. I had to run and pour the milk into the coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she got really suspicious. See what a great job Ravi has to do. So suddenly he has to run from there and put that tumbler half milk into that half shell coconut for the kitten, and before Tapi could know anything about that, I have to wash that tumbler and put it at its own place. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. Now they were calling Mahendran word is there. So Mahendran they are calling to the kitten. Got it? Mahendran? Question mark. This little kitty's name is Mahendran? Question mark. Bridu was impressed. Exclamation. It was a real name? Dash. Not just a cute kitty cat name. Not just a cute catty cat name. Do you think it's a real name? Or just a cute catty name? She was suspicious. She was somewhat impressed. Mridu. Mahendran? Actually, his full name is Mahendra Verma Pallava Punai. MP Punai, short form. So, what is its full name? Actually, its full name is Mahendra Verma Pallava Punai. In short, MP. M for Mahendra Verma, MP for Pallava Punai. Pallava, you know, somewhat the dynasty is there. In social science we have studied about it. For short, if you like, in short we can call it MP Punai. He is a fine breed cat, it's a fine breed, a kind of a species we call a fine breed cat. Just look at his fur, like a lion's mane. If you saw her first, no, it was just looking like lion's mane, a beard for the lion. And you know what the emblem of the ancient Pallavas king? Now, as Ravi is telling that when he knows everything about the history, he was telling, do you know the emblem? Emblem, the symbol for that nation, for that kingdom. So it was for that Pallavas king. What is the emblem for that? Don't you? क्या तुम्हें पता नहीं है? He looked expectantly at Mridu. Expectantly means he was expecting something. He was showing that one is very genius, and he is considering that one she knows nothing. Mridu giggle. Somewhat she giggled. Giggling. Yeah. She's somewhat confused. Think I'm joking. Mridu giggle means she thought that one as you know that one, he's trying to give more exaggeration. So she understood. Mridu understood everything. Think I'm joking. Well, just wait. So Ravi was confused. Ravi thought that one, she's understand what I am trying to do. So Ravi told, think I'm joking. Well, just wait. I'll show you some time. Yes, just wait. I will tell you. It's clear you don't know a thing about history. Exaggeration is there. He's proving that he knows everything and Mridu knows nothing. Haven't been to Mahabalipuram? Have you? He said mysteriously. Mysteriously means somewhat secretly. Mysterious means somewhat hidden. Expecting something. Have you never been to Mahabalipuram? Again question mark. Have you? तुम कभी गई हो महाबलीपुरम? He said mysteriously. Well, when our class went to Mahabalipuram, I saw a statue of his tatas. That is etc. He's telling that one he's touring to Mahabalipuram, and there he saw etc. Means many more things he has seen. Fact is, Mahendran here is descendant from that very same ancient cat. Now he reached at the top. Fake Raisa. He's telling that one. This cat is descendant of that precious breed that Mahendra's or Pallava Punai's descendant. Descendant, that is come from the same family. They were the followers, or they were the descendant of that family. That ancient cat, Mahendran, that ancient cat, a close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion, the Pallava lion emblem of the Pallava dynasty. That cat family they belongs to. All lion, leopard, tiger, they were cat family. So the Pallava lion emblem of the Pallava dynasty. Ravi went on. Ravi is telling anything to Mridu. Now, emblem of the Pallava dynasty. Ravi went on walking around the beetle bush, waving a twig up and down, his eyes sparkling. Now his eyes were glooming, sparkling. Now he's showing like that he knows everything about that cat. That is ancient cat. That is a descendant of Pallava's dynasty. That emblem is related with this cat. Somewhat they were belong to that lion is there, no? That lion is of same family. He was trying to tell. This cat is a descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. And if I may just remind you, they worship cats in ancient Egypt. Now see Pallava dynasty. Where he took Mridu? In Egypt. In Egypt he is telling that one, there is a process, there is a tradition that cats were worshipped. See, this is the descendant Rishi's cat of Mahabalipuram. Ravi top at the height now. How he loved the sound of his own voice. Meena and Mridu exchange looks. How he loved the sound of his own voice. It is for Ravi, he is telling. He is enjoying himself, Ravi, by telling that fact to the Mridu. Meena and Mridu exchanged their looks. They looked at each other. What does that have to do with anything? Mridu demanded. See, what does that have to do with anything? कोई ऐसे कैसे कर सकता है? मृदु demanded. Oh, I'm telling you, this cat is descendant from the Egypt cat god, no goddess. Bestest, yeah, that's it. Ravi is confirmed now, confident about his statement. He's telling, I'm telling you, this cat is descendant. ये cat descendant है from Egypt cat god. Yes, no goddess. God, I'm telling you, no goddess. Bastet. Yeah, that's it. Yes, it is the final. So, well, one of the descendant of the cat goddess was stowaway in one of the Pallavas ship, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, whose descendant is Ravi flourished his twig at Mahendran. MP Punai here. Whoop! Ik! He shrieked, very pleased with himself. One twig he was wandering in his hand, and he's telling that one, this cat is stowaway. Stowaway means ran in one of the Pallavas ship. While they were traveling, no, those time sea voyages are there. In that ship, this cat was run away, stowaway, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. ये जो कैट थी इसकी डिसेंडेंट विच वन दैट महाबलीपुरम ऋषि कैट हुज डिसेंडेंट इज दिस कैट इज डिसेंडेंट ऑफ महाबलीपुरम ऋषि कैट Ravi flourished his twig. He flourished his twig. Twig, you know, a small branch of tree. At Mahendra, he flourished. He threw that twig towards Mahendran. That MP Punai here. Whoop ik, that sound, whoop ik, that while he threw that one towards that cat or kitten, it sounds whoop ik. He shrieked. Very pleased with himself. Ravi was very pleased. He was thinking that one, he is very happy. What he is telling is the truth, and they are believing on it. Mahendran looked up as he threw that branch towards it. She looked up, alarmed. She somewhat get alarmed. You know, get alert. He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. He had just been. She was sharpening her claws over the coconut shell. But worse than Ravi's awful eek was a critch. As both sounds, Ravi's awful eek was more dangerous than her scratching the paws on the coconut shell. From the window, what a weird sound. Something is going on. From the window, they heard some weird sound, somewhat drastic sound, somewhat dangerous sound, unpleasant recoil. If Mridu was startled, MP Punai was frightened out of his wits. Here, standing on end, he bounced up and sculled towards a bamboo tree of red chilies that had been set out to dry, trying to hide beneath it. He tipped a few chilies over himself. Meow, he howled miserably. As the sound, that weird sound, came from the window, Ravi's eek was not that much horrible for cat, but the sound which comes, that weird sound we are calling that one, which comes out from the window, it makes her very frightened, and she tried to run from that. She was trying to hide herself. The cat was very frightened by the sound that comes from the window, and she tipped a few chilies that were kept for drying out. She ran from there. Everything was what happened. Scurled towards a bamboo tree. She hurriedly moved. Scurled towards means hurriedly moved towards bamboo tree where red chilies were kept to dry out, and she was trying to hide herself beneath it. She was frightened completely. The creaking went on. Creaking, that sound, harsh sound, unpleasant to listen. What's the noise? Said Mridu. What is that noise? Creaking kept going on. That's Lali learning to play the violin. Grunted Ravi. That screeching sound. Whose screeching sound it was? While they were discussing about that cat, suddenly there was a screeching sound come out from the window, which make Mahendran very frightened, and she ran to hide herself. Ravi grunted. It was Lali who is playing the piano. He is trying to learn the piano. She will never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train whistling on and on, while Lali's all the time drilling going completely off track. Now Lali's piano learning they were discussing now. The cat is somewhat aside. Just now concentrate on Lali's music and Lali's learning violin. So they were talking about Lali. So Ravi is telling that one Lali never learn a thing. Lali kabhi सीखेगी नहीं. If we compare both music masters playing violin and Lali's playing violin, there is a great difference. As music master go on softly like a train goes on track, it was complete very pleasant sound it comes when music master playing the violin, but on different hand Lali's music you can not imagine. It was derailing means the train is going off the track, completely off the track, both on track like pleasant one. Music master's voice, music master's playing violin, and Lali just train is out of the track. Some questions are there, guys, that will we discuss afterward. Now second part. Mridu crept up to the window. Now Mridu could not stop herself, so she crept up. Crept means she crawled towards the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring. So as Mridu went to see what's going on inside the room, so Lali was sitting a little distance away. Whom? From the music master. Awkwardly, not very happy. She was a little frightened, holding the violin. Means she didn't know anything about that. Holding the violin and a bowstring. Bowstring, that string, that metallic strings over the violin, that bowstring we call it. Her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. Jutting out her elbows. What she's telling? Her elbows jutting out to try to make the music on that violin, and she's glazed with the concentration. She's trying to put all the concentration over there. In front of her, with most of his back to the window. Most of the back means just back to the window where she was sitting was the bony figure of the music master. Here guys, concentrate on this one. This question can be asked. Describe the music master or describe the appearance of music master. So here that answer is the bony figure. Bony figure means not so enough strong. That bony means weak one figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head. Bald means no hairs. Mostly his head is bald one. A fine oil black hair falling around his ears, an old-fashioned tuft. Tuft means a kind of wearing dhoti. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck. Its leathery neck, there was a gold chain. He was a bony figure. Oil is what we can say, black hair falling around, fringe of oil which was he put on his head, leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. As he was trying to play the violin, while he was playing up and down, the diamond ring in his hand was gleaming. It was glittering. That word is there. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesty edge, that is dhoti vesti. So there was a big toe, and he was beating time to time on the floor with the scrawny big toe, scrawny, long and thin. That toe he was beating while he was playing the violin. He was beating the toe on the ground. That was the music master's appearance. He played a few notes over the violin. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! The music master notes seems to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whistling along. As Ravi said earlier, Ravi has described music master's notes were just like railing on the track, like Makhan we call. He was smoothly playing the violin and making or creating the pleasant voice, whereas Lali's music, you can imagine that one picture if you see the notes coming out from the Lali's violin were the dangerous sound, creaking sound we call. Mridu started at the huge, bringed hand moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. Bringed. The music master is wearing a ring, that is be ringed. We call it be ringed means what? The finger with ring. Mridu started at that huge be-ringed hand moving effortlessly. Be-ringed hand, music master's hand we are talking about, and Mridu has to work a lot. Mridu started at the huge. She's looking at Lali. Yes. Making lovely music. That be-ringed man or be-ringed person with making the music very lovely. Squawk. There was Lali derailing again. Again, Lali was following to music master. Again, it was squawk. Means she was again off track. Amma came a wall from the gate. Amma, oh Amma. You know, well means a kind of beggar from the gate. There was a came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh Amma. There was another sound. See, again another incident. First one, cat's incident. Second one, Lali with violin master. Now there is a wail from the gate. Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda. As the beggar was asking for Amma, oh Amma. Suddenly there was a great response from mother, Ravi's mother. That what did she say? Ravi, send that beggar away. उस beggar को भेज दो, cried his mother back from veranda where she was chatting. There they were chatting with Tapi as she recently had came. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to be begged from. Pati explained to Tapi. They were discussing. As she heard that voice from gate, she told, send him back because he's coming over the past week here again and again, and tell him that he has to find some other way to beg from. उसको बता दो दूसरा घर ढूंढ ले, डेली यहाँ पे आने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. She was telling or she was explaining to Tapi. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. Both were going to tell that beggar. Who is going? Mridu and Meena. Lali was still there. The beggar was already in the garden. As he was at the gate, now his confidence has grew up and he came just in the garden, making himself quite at home. He was trying to make him effortlessly. He was trying to make him comfortable. He had sprayed his upper clothes under the neem tree. Upper clothes, his dress, whatever he had. The upper clothes he sprayed under that neem tree and was about to lean against its trunk. Apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the arms to appear. Arms to appear means was waiting something they will give him to eat. Go away, said Ravi sternly as his mother told him. Sent him back. Ravi's mother in angry mood. So sternly, with a confident voice, sternly, Ravi said, go away. My Pati says, it's time you to find another house to beg for. My mother told me that one. You have to find another house to beg for. The beggar opened his eyes, very wide, and gazed at each of the children one by one. He opened his eyes, big eyes, and he was looking each and every one. Child, the ladies of this house, he said. Now he's trying to explain. Ladies of this house, he said. At last, in a voice choked with feeling, his voice was choked with feelings. He was somewhat feeling very, very serious now. His voice is choked. He could not speak. Are very kind souls. इस घर की जो औरतें हैं ना, दे आर वेरी काइंड सोल्स. इनके जैसा मैंने अभी तक नहीं देखा है. दे आर वेरी काइंड सोल्स. बहुत अच्छी औरत है इस घर की. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I have experienced that their generosity. I kept my heart just at the feet of themselves because that kind of generosity I haven't been experienced, and I am looking those generosity for a week, whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. मुझे भरोसा नहीं, मुझे नहीं लगता. They will turn me away from here. He raised his voice. Now, earlier his voice was choked. He raised his voice. मुझे नहीं लगता वो मुझे भेज देंगे यहाँ से बिना कुछ. अम्मा अम्मा oh, said his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth, with its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. Beetle, we called it kind of tobacco. So his teeth were blooming. What did he say? Sternly wasn't feeble. Now he was not afraid. He was somewhat confident. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly. Withered belly, that belly, stomach, it is called. Withered means haven't been ate, stomach full for a long time, and came booming out of his mouth. That sound, withered belly. He was earlier very hungry. That sound coming out from his mouth was not so confident. With its few remaining teeth, कुछ दांत बाकी थे उसके, and they were also stained brown. Stained means धब्बे थे उसके दांतों पे. What we called stained brown with beetle chewing. Beetle, tobacco we called. So due to that one, it was brownish stain. Dhabba we called the small patches. Ravi, tell him there is nothing left in the kitchen. Called Rukumani. Rukumani वहाँ से बोली. Tell him that nothing in the kitchen left, and he has not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. She is fed up now. And she told him that one. Tell him. He could understand, he could listen. But mother is telling that one. He's telling Ravi, send him back and don't come here again and again. Nothing left over there. Ravi did not have to repeat it all to the beggar, because you know that why it is not to repeat, because Rukmini's voice that beggar can listen. That's why Ravi did not have to repeat the word. What his mother said had been easy for him to hear. There under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. Sat up, upright there. He sat up uh, and sighed. Take a sign of relief. I'll go. मैं चला जाऊंगा. Don't worry, said wearily. थका हुआ था बेचारा. Wearily, no, weird, tired. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot. The tar has melted on the road. अब वो बेचारा his experience, he is telling his own situation. Let me, yes, I will, मैं चला जाऊँगा, but let me rest under this neem tree. मुझे थोड़ी यहाँ पे आराम करने दीजिए. The sun is very hot. The tar has melted on the road. You know tar, that word is called tar, means what number we call, just black coal. That material used to coat the road. Yeah, that is tar. Has melted on the road. My feet are already blistered. Blistered means small. We call that burn like patches were there on the feet. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. Sole, you know that sole means that skin of our toe, that soles we call. So the soles were bare. They haven't wear any kind of chappal, they haven't any kind of footwear, so the blisters were peeling. पूरे छाले पड़ गए थे उसके पैर पे, because of what? He didn't have any chappal. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals, Mridu whispered to Meena. Ravi, Mridu was whispering means speaking unclearly, means in a low voice she whispered. I think he didn't have enough money to buy chappals. मुझे लगता है कि उसके पास इतने ज़्यादा पैसे नहीं होंगे to buy chappals. Have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? क्या तुम्हारे पास घर में कुछ ओल्ड वाले चप्पल्स है? I don't know, said रवि. रवि ने कहा मुझे नहीं पता. Mine are too small to fit his feet. मेरे जो है वो तो बहुत छोटे होंगे, उसे तो फिट नहीं आएंगे. They would not fit to him, or I would have given them to him. नहीं तो मैं मेरे दे सकता था उसे. And his feet were larger than Mridu's and Mina's also. His feet is larger than Mridu and Mida. So all are cousins. We, Ravi, Mridu and Mina. They were not fit for that beggar. So the beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth. Was shaking. He trying to shake the upper cloth to remove the dust that he has earlier lie on the ground, and he tightening his dhoti. He was trying to tighten his dhoti, and he raised his eyes. He was looking very doubtfully and in a afraid manner that the road outside was gleaming in the afternoon heat. He needs something on his feet, Meena said. They could understand what is happening and what he was thinking about. Her big eyes feeling it's not fair. उसको थोड़ा बुरा लग रहा था. Meena was not feeling very well. Her eyes were filling with somewhat depth. She was feeling the hurt that he could feel. Shh, said Ravi. Ravi said, shh. I am thinking about it. Blubbering. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's going to help in. Yes, this is not good. So we have to help him. Blubber. Blubber means they were talking to each other. In 2 minutes, he will be frying his feet on that road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So he was telling. Yes, of course, obviously. Within 2 minutes, his feet were roasted. So what he need is a pair of chappals. So most important thing for him to right now is chappals. So where do we get them? अब उसे कहाँ से दिलाएंगे? Come, let's search the house. चलो थोड़ा देख लेंगे. He pushed Mridu and Meena into the house. उसने क्या किया? दोनों को घर में लेके गया, भीतर गए. Just as she stepped into the veranda, Mridu's eyes fell on the odd-looking chappals she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi, she whispered to him, whose are those? Ah, I told you earlier when she entered, no, at Rukumini's house. That time she had kept her small chappals just beside to that big scrawny one. She told him whose chappal it was. Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby looking. He turned and glanced at the shabby looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and nodded. It was sturdy है. Sturdy means dirty. Old looking चप्पल्स पर दिया. These are just the right size. हाँ मुझे लगता है कि ये उसको fit आएंगे. That is the right size चप्पल. He said, picking them up. Mridu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. He said, they would be the right size. So picking them up, उसने उसको उठाया. Mridu and Meena followed him. रवि के पीछे पीछे चलती गई. Nervously back into the garden. They were nervous. They were quite upset. Here, said Ravi to the beggar. उसने present किया वो चप्पल किसको? To the beggar and said, here. Dropping the slippers in front of the old man, wear these and don't come back. ये चप्पल पहन लो और दोबारा इस घर में मत आइए. The beggar started at the slippers. He stared at the slippers. He watched. Staring means looking thoroughly towards the chappals. Hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulder. He flung towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them and left. उसने चप्पल पहन ली और वहाँ से 9-11 हो गया. Muttered blessings to the children. और उसने जाते जाते muttered blessings. उसने आशीर्वाद देते गए. उस घर से निकल गया. In a minute he had vanished around the corner of the street. एक मिनट में वो वहाँ से गायब हो गया. The music masters came out the house and took an unappreciative look. Unappreciative means he was not in the disapproving. He was not believing that one. What happened to him? See, look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree. Three children, how could they sitting quietly? It is disapproving. He was not thinking. Something went wrong. His mind was thinking about it, playing marbles. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. Now guys, you can understand. What slippers were those? He was looking for the chappals. Lali, he called. After a few moments, after searching, he called Lali. She hurried up to him. You know that one. That child is not good at learning. So hurriedly she came to the music master. Have you seen my chappals, my dear? He asked to the Lali. Have you seen my chappals? I remember having kept them here. So he was telling that when I kept those here only, I could remember. Ravi, Mridu and Meena silently watched Lali and the music master search every corner of the veranda. Now these guys were very silent. They are looking at Lali and music master that they were searching for something. He scurried around. वो पीछे मुड़ गया. Looking over the railing and crouching near the flower pot to look between them. Brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them. He went on saying, they cost a whole month's fees. Do you know? Now he's telling that one. I brought the chappals. They were the brand new and I have to go to Mount Road to buy them and they were as much as you pay me for a month's fees. Do you know? क्या तुम्हें पता है उसकी जो कीमत थी अब जो मुझे पूरे मंथ की जो फीस देते उतने महंगे वो चप्पल्स थे. Soon Lali went in to tell her mother. They were helpless. They didn't find. So Lali went in to tell her mother. Rukumini appeared. looking harassed with Pati following her. हाँ रुक्मिणी appeared. रुक्मिणी वहाँ पे आ गई उसकी मदर. Looking harassed. She was somewhat harassed. क्योंकि घर से चप्पल कैसे गायब होंगे. She was quite distressed. With Pati following her. Pati भी उसके पीछे पीछे आ गए. Now Lali, Rukmini and Pati all were there. Where could they be? वो कहाँ हो गए? It's really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. यहाँ से घर से चोरी कैसे होंगी? यही कहीं होंगे वो. No, she was trying to making confident. So many vendors come to the door. Worried Pati. Pati बोलती बहुत लोग आते vendors, shoppers, you know, that they used to sell their objects on the street. Their vendors, many vendors come here. Pati was worried. Rukmini caught sight of Ravi, Mridu and Meena sitting under the tree. अब रुक्मिणी की आंखें किसकी तरफ मुड़ी? Over the Ravi, Mridu and Meena sitting under the tree. Have you children? She began, and then seeing they were. So what happened, guys? Mother, that Rukmini was looking at Mridu, Meena and Ravi. Those were sitting quietly under the tree. And she asked, have you children? In doubtful manner. She began, and then seeing they were curiously quiet. Those guys were very quiet. Went on more slowly. Seen anyone lurking around the veranda? Lurking, you know, someone waiting quietly. A sharp V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. Now, sharp V-shape. Now she's very angry. V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. She was expecting something. Someone came. Another straight, tighter one appeared in place of her usually soft, pleasant mouth. Generally, she was very soft and pleasant with her voice, but now she was more straight and tighter. थोड़ा वो अब डेंजर मूड में आ गई थी. रुक्मिणी was angry, thought Mridu with a shiver. She wouldn't be so upset if she knew about the poor beggar with sores on his feet. She tried to tell herself. Thought Mridu with a shiver. Mridu was shivering, you know. She was also quite afraid, and she was shivered with fear. She wouldn't be so upset. She was telling to herself, Mridu was telling to herself, she wouldn't be so upset if she knew that when we had given these chappals to that beggar who is having sores on his feet. Taking a deep breath, she cried. उसने एक लंबी सांस ली और उसने कहा, Rukmini, there was a beggar here. Poor thing, he had such boils on his feet. Rukmini, there was a beggar here. Poor thing, he had such boils on his feet. She was trying to tell these things. Rukmini, यहाँ पे एक beggar आया था. उसके जो feet थे, if you see that one, they are having boils on his feet. So, said Rukmini grimly, turning to Ravi. तो क्या हुआ फिर? Grimly, now angrily. You gave the music master chappals to that old beggar who turns up here. क्या तुमने फिर म्यूजिक मास्टर के चप्पल दिए उसे? Who turn up here? Children these days, grown Pati. पाती थोड़ा उसमें एडिशन करते गया पाती ने. Children these days, no, आपके जो बच्चे हैं ना अभी के ज़माने के, अम्मा didn't you tell me about Karna who gave away everything he had, even his gold earrings? He was so kind and generous. Amma, who said? Rukmini. Amma didn't tell me about that Karna. Karna के बारे में आप मुझे एग्जाम्पल मत दो. Who had given everything, even his earring also, which is of gold. He was so kind and generous. वो तब की ज़माने की बात. Silly, snapped Rukmini. Karna didn't give away other people's things. he only gave away his own. रुक्मिणी बोलती है, don't tell me that silly things. Silly, snapped रुक्मिणी. करना डिडंट गिव अवे. मम्मी बोलती करना दूसरों की चीज़ें नहीं देता था. ही यूज टू गिव हिज ओन वॉट एवर हिज बिलोंगिंग. बट माई चप्पल्स वुडंट हैव फिटेड द बेगर्स फीट. रवि रश्ड बार्शली ऑन. रवि बोलता है कि हाँ, यस, आई कुड गिव माई ओन बट दे कुडंट फिट टू दैट बेगर. एंड अम्मा, इफ दे डिडंट फिट वुड ही रियली नॉट हैव माइंडेड. मम्मा, अगर वो फिट नहीं होते तो वुड यू रियली माइंडेड अबाउट दैट आई हैड गिवन म्यूजिक मास्टर चप्पल्स टू हिम. रवि सेड रुक्मिणी, वेरी एंग्री नाउ, गो इनसाइड द मिनट. रवि, आप जल्दी से तुम घर के अंदर चल जाओ. गो इनसाइड. शी हरीड इंडोर्स एंड ब्रॉट आउट गोपू मामाज हार्डली वोन न्यू चप्पल्स. वो जल्दी से घर में गई और उसने गोपू मामा की जो हार्डली वोन, कभी पहनी थी उसने, देवर द न्यू चप्पल्स. दीज शुड फिट यू. ये तुम्हें अच्छी तरह से फिट होंगे. सर, प्लीज़ पुट दिस ऑन. आई एम सो सॉरी. माई सन हैज़ बीन वेरी नॉटी. द म्यूजिक मास्टर आइज लीट अप. ही पुट देम ऑन, ट्राइंग नॉट टू लुक टू हैप्पी. म्यूजिक मास्टर वॉज वेरी हैप्पी with those chappals that Rukmini had given to him. His eyes were lit up. By that statement we can understand he was very happy with those chappals. And she was accepting that his son has done, her son has done something wrong, and she was accepting that my son is very naughty and he had done some mischievous job. So music masters hurriedly put them on, trying to look not so happy. He was showing that he was not too happy. वो खुश नहीं है दिखाना चाहता था, मगर इंटरनली ही वॉज वेरी हैप्पी. वेल, आई सपोज दिस विल हैव टू डू. चलो ठीक है, ये मेरे काम आ जाएंगे. आई विल मेकअप विथ इट. दिस डेज चिल्ड्रन हैव नो रिस्पेक्ट फॉर एल्डर्स. व्हाट टू डू. चलो, आज के ज़माने के जो बच्चे हैं उनके पास रिस्पेक्ट ही नहीं है बड़ों का. व्हाट टू डू, हम क्या कर सकते हैं. हनुमान इनकार्नेट. यू नो हनुमान इनकार्नेट. हनुमान, they were just like the Hanuman incarnate. उनकी जो सोल्जर है, उनकी जो आर्मी है, उनके जैसा. ओनली रामा कैन सेव सच ए नॉटी फेलो. अब हनुमान इन द सेंस what word you have used, we can understand. Only Rama, Ram can only, God Rama can save such a naughty fellow. Rukmini's eyes flashed. She didn't seem to like Ravi being called a monkey. हाँ, you know, Hanuman, in the sense that music master was trying to tell Ravi like, or that children like a monkey. She didn't like that one, even a holy monkey. Even Hanuman is a holy monkey, but she never liked it. She stood stiff and straight by the front door. It was clear she wanted him to leave quickly. तो थोड़ा एग्रेसिव हो गई और वो जान गया म्यूजिक मास्टर that he did not have to stay for a longer period of time. So she wanted him to leave quickly. वो चाहती थी कि वो अभी क्या भी चला जाए. When he had clattered off in his new chappals, she said, जैसे ही वो clattered, you know, clattered off, जैसे वो वहाँ से 9-11 going off noisily, चप्पल की आवाज़ करते करते वो ऐसे ही noisily he went on. She said, रुक्मिणी कहती है, मृदु, come in and have some tiffin. Honestly, how do you children think of such things? आप कैसे ऐसे कर सकते हो, कैसे सोच सकते हो. Thank God your गोपू मामा's चप्पल doesn't wear a चप्पल to work. अच्छा हुआ उस मामा ने आज चप्पल काम पे पहन के नहीं गया. As she walked towards the kitchen with मृदु and मीना, she suddenly began to laugh. वो हंस पड़ती. अच्छा हुआ गोपू मामा ने आज चप्पल पहनी नहीं. मृदु और मीना दोनों रुक्मिणी के साथ किचन में जाते. They began to laugh. But he has always in such a hurry to throw off his shoes and socks and get into his chappals as soon as he comes home. हाँ, उसको आदत ही है अपनी चीज़ें ऑफिस के बाद आने के बाद फेंकने की. But when he comes from office to home, he would rather find where his chappals were. As soon as he came home, he would find definitely where his chappals were. What's your Mama going to say this evening? when I tell him I gave his chappals to the music master, व्हाट्स योर मामा गोइंग टू से? अब वो जब इवनिंग में घर पे आएगा तो उसको तुम क्या कहने वाले हो? दैट ही चप्पल्स टू गिव इन म्यूजिक मास्टर्स दैट आई हैव, हमने जो चप्पल म्यूजिक मास्टर को दी उसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहती हो? रिटन बाय वसंता सूर्या फ्रॉम मृदु इन मद्रास, बुर्ज का टर्न्स ऑफ. Okay, so guys, if you like this video, definitely subscribe and like my video. Thank you. Thanks a lot.